morning, everybody. Happy Monday. How are you? I'm Paola Guillon. I'm a success coach and professional tango dancer, and I love doing those happy Mondays because I believe in starting the week right. So I also believe in gratitude, and with that incorporated in the morning, thank you to everybody. It was a huge tango weekend for me. So thank you to all our students that came on Friday evening, the classes that we have with Steven on Friday evenings, and then Saturday, training and more teaching and beautiful milongas at Esquina and more tango teaching and more training yesterday. So to all our students and my dance partners and my friends, it was a wonderful weekend. To everybody that came from Houston to visit Austin, to have some tango, big thank you to you too. It was lovely to see everybody. So there you go. That's the tango gratitude for the Monday morning for everybody, because there was a lot of connection and there was a lot of sharing and appreciation, and I really wish to point that out. So what we're going to talk about today is, what are the critics really telling you? So when we find ourselves in the company or working or in a friendship with somebody that criticizes a lot, like they have a lot of not only negative comment to mention, but they're really putting things down when it comes to other people. What it's really telling you is, yes, they are saying that, yes, that's the way they feel about things on the outside. The thing is, the way we talk about the outside world is what's going on in our head. It's the way we talk to ourselves on a regular basis, okay? So if we're criticizing people a lot, typically it's because we're very critical of ourselves. And people that are very critical of ourselves do so because they think they're not enough. And I've been talking about that, and I've been making a theme of the self-love for February, self-love and self-care. And to be able to really appreciate who we are and how we can love ourselves to the full extent is that we have to appreciate the fact that we are enough. And especially in our culture, that's something that is missing a lot. It's absolutely lacking. The way we treat others is the way we treat ourselves, typically. So I'm not saying that we need to give a free pass to people that criticize a bunch or criticize more than we find it, manageable or tolerable, or really, they're doing that again. And it's really to find that humanity. So I'm all about connection. That's why I love tango. Tango is a dance of connection. So if we want to appreciate connection to the full extent of it, connection between each other and the connection with ourselves, when we see someone, we witness somebody that is criticizing a lot, that's because they are critical of themselves. And that connection is missing. Of course, the connection between those two people, the person that criticizes and the person that's not enjoying it, that connection is going to be challenged. But to reestablish a little bit of that connection and to connect to the humanity in the other person, we can appreciate that they are struggling, that they are having a hard time. And when we look at that, rather than, oh, this is bothering me, I'm the victim of those critics and criticizing, and when we switch it around and we look at, oh, man, they're having a hard time with that. They think they're not enough. And guess what? Everybody, at one point or another, to various extents, think that we're not enough. And very few will actually get to the point like, oh yeah, I'm enough, no problem. We can get there. But culturally, we have been extremely good at duplicating the not enough syndrome. We have been very good at nurturing that lack in our lives. And we could go on it and it would take a while, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. I encourage you to appreciate that if people are criticizing, it's because they're very critical of themselves. They are struggling. Misery likes company. So because they are in that state of struggle, of not enough and sadness, of not thinking they are enough, they want to duplicate that around so they can build that world. So it's very often that you'll be in an environment where people are very critical because there is the not enough standard I worked in retail, fashion. In the not enough world, that's a hard one to beat. Because fashion has duplicated itself to make people believe they're not enough. So if you buy that dress, you will feel like you are enough. So I've been in that world. I've been in that environment, and there is a lot of that. There is a lot of criticizing of the fashion and each other and clientele. I mean, it's rampant. It really is. I'm so glad I left that world, because I don't think that's what fashion ought to be. Fashion should be fun. So I invite you to appreciate that. Next time you hear someone criticizing, is it, a one-off, or if you see a pattern, if that's something that just keeps happening, to create that just little bit of connection and to at least connect to our humanity, not to put up with people criticizing all the time. I don't think that's right. However, just let's connect to that bit of humanity with them and appreciate that they're struggling, they are having a hard time, and they likely think they're not enough. And eventually, maybe one day we can shift that around and appreciate that they are. We all are. All right? So, I know I'm feeling tired this morning. I'm sorry. The upbeat will be for next week. It was a big weekend. However, thank you so much for always giving me feedback. I hear feedback from those lives all the time. I'm always surprised, delightfully surprised. But thank you for every time I get that feedback about the lives that I do every Monday morning. That really makes my day, and it gives me an idea of how I can be of service and what help I can provide. So until next week, reach for the greatest version of yourself. You have a great one. Bye-bye.